Hello, I'm Nyan, and I've done a few videos previously showing off my Magic Kingdom build in Planet Coaster, but I realised, so once I finished doing this, I kind of was done a little bit with Planet Coaster. I'd spent such a long time building this that when I'd finished, I just had to put it down for a little while, but I'm kind of getting a little bit back into it just now. So I looked at some of the videos that I had up and realised that I'd had some update videos of when it was partially done, but now I've finished it. I thought I should probably do a video showing the finished park. So here it is. As you can see, it's quite big and the frame rate is not great, so please bear with me for that. I've had to crank down the graphics settings a little bit, but hopefully you'd be able to get a good impression of what it's like. So yeah, it takes up pretty much the entire, and this is so in scenario editor you can expand the boundaries a little bit, so this is with the boundaries maxed out to as big as it will go basically. Most of the stuff, I would say probably upwards of 90% of the everything in this park is made by me, but there are some things that are not made by me, and if I see them, I will mention that they're not. The main one being the Contemporary Hotel over here on the right. That was from the workshop. I'm not sure who that was from, but if you search for the Disney Contemporary Hotel on the workshop, that would probably be the one that you'll find, and it's really good. So yeah, we'll start off at the entrance. So as you can see, I've put a monorail in, but it doesn't really go anywhere. It does a loop into the Contemporary past the front of the park, and then just loops around over there. It's just to have a monorail and then to make a loop so that I can put it so that it moves and it looks proper. But so I did all of this from Google Maps because, as you can tell, I'm English, and I've been to Magic Kingdom I think once when I was about 7 years old, so I've not been there anytime recently. So just mainly from Google Maps and Street View, and then there's a lot of videos on YouTube of people walking around in like 4K and that sort of thing, so those were a great help as well. But so yeah, starting off is this little bus station-y sort of area, which is where I've put the guest spawn points. You can see they kind of stick out a little bit from the buses. That's a shame, but what can you do? And yeah, there's all these roads and things are paths, but obviously there's nothing to move along them. Next over here is the sort of, and you'll forgive me if I'm not sure what the names of these various places are. Like I say, I've not been there anytime recently, so I don't know what this little dock area is, but there's also a guest spawn point inside the paddle boat there. And then over here is the monorail station, and this was a real pain in the arse to make because almost all of the park is on completely flat terrain, or at least any of the bits where there is paths and things like that, but this bit isn't, and it was just really difficult trying to get the slope of this roof that covers the pathway here to kind of come down, and then at the bottom where it curves round but also goes down, that was quite difficult. But I think it looks okay. I will say as well, most of the rides in the park are not functioning, or rather the exterior outside rides are functioning, but any that are sort of inside dark rides sort of things, I haven't put. A lot of them I have made interiors for them, but because, as you can tell, it's laggy as anything just as it is. If I put fully detailed dark rides and things inside, then we'd have no hope, like it wouldn't load. So yeah, moving on to the entrance plaza here, which I'm really pleased with. I think it looks great. And the Main Street Station, and these little kiosky things. There's a couple of little shops in there and that sort of thing. I do have all the music, or most of the music, which you can get on YouTube, which is really good. Helps to add to the ambience and the environment. I really like the entrance, like the station and that. I think it looks really nice. And again, yeah, all made by myself. And then moving into Main Street and I don't know, this kind of plaza, whatever it's called. Yeah, Main Street was one that took a long time to build because there's a lot of, all the buildings obviously are all individual and they're all very unique and have lots of little features on them. So that took quite some time to do, but I really enjoyed it because Main Street is probably one of my favourite bits of the park because it's the first bit you come to. It really sets the scene and gets you in the mood for it. A lot of the shops are functional, but the interiors are probably not decked out as much as they could be, again for the same reasons as before. So heading down Main Street, obviously I've turned off visitors, there's no visitors because, oh my god, can you imagine? It just wouldn't load up. I mean, this takes about 15-20 minutes to load up anyway, so if there was people in here it would be too much. But yeah, Main Street, really happy with that. I think I showed all Main Street and most of, I can't remember the bits that I hadn't done in the previous videos. But yeah, for anyone who's not seen those, this is Main Street. And then you get to the end here. Now I believe this building here, Casey's Corner, that was not made by me, or if it was made by somebody else, I think I may have modified it slightly, but the majority of it was not mine. That's from the workshop as well, as was most of the Crystal Palace. I think at least the roof pieces were, but I think I've kind of modified it quite a bit to get it the right size in the right place, because as most people will probably be aware, the trouble with Planet Coaster is the scaling is absolutely awful on the building pieces. Everything is massive, so it takes a lot of jiggery pokery just to get things small enough to look like they should be. And I tried when I was building everything in this park to stick with the sort of Disney idea of forced perspective, and keep things as small as possible, so the buildings are sort of not as tall as maybe they would be if you weren't bearing that in mind. But yeah, we'll head, I'll show you the castle on this bit first, and then we'll kind of head in a clockwise direction around the park, just showing the various bits and pieces. But yep, there's the castle which I made, which really pleased with. I like the castle, and the things I like the most is these details, like the crisscross beams on the roofs there. Helps to just make it look a little bit more detailed, and I quite like that. And this little stage thingy here, and there was all paths here, but you may have noticed I covered over all of the paths with pavement pieces, because the pathing system is terrible in Planet Coaster. It makes it very difficult to get nice looking paths. So basically I just draw the paths any old how to suit where I want people to go, and then cover it over with pavement pieces, just fills in all the gaps, and yeah, it keeps it looking tidy. So we'll head over here to the first bit, Adventureland, and it's all connected up, and I tried my best, like I say, to get it as accurate scale wise as possible, using just sort of Google Maps. I didn't have any overlays or anything like that. It was just, using my own original eyeball. So some of the distances might be not right, but it's as best as I can do, really. So coming into Adventureland here, there's this Club 33 clubhouse here and all behind here, which is really cool. I'll never get to go in there in real life, but I can make it here. Let me change the camera setting. There we go. In my autosave, it lags like crazy when there's when the autosave does its thing, but hopefully not. So moving along through Adventureland, there's the Skipper Canteen over here, which I think is a restaurant, maybe has restaurant pieces in it, and the lag is so terrible. The Swiss Family Robinson treehouse thing over here, that's not mine. I mean, I made all the queue and everything, but the actual treehouse, because it's hidden and it's not an actual ride and no guest will actually go there, I didn't do anything with it, make anything with it. I just sort of, it's there in the background and you can see it from the path. And there's these little cut through toilets that cuts through into Frontierland through there. And then there's like a sort of, it's like you head into this Middle Easty kind of area with like a bazaar and stuff, and Aladdin's flying carpets, is it? Magic carpet, something like that. But obviously we don't have a magic carpet ride, so it's just this this aeroplane thing with like an Aladdin sort of theme built around it there. And these tents are really handy for doing the bazaar and all of that. And one of my favourite buildings or areas in the whole park is this oh Christ, what's it called? I can't remember. This like tiki place. I forget what it's called. Let me know what that's called. I forget what it's called, but yeah, that's one of my favourite buildings with the thatch roofs and that sort of thing. It looks really cool. I like that. And then of course, heading over to the other side over here is where the Jungle Cruise is, and the Jungle Cruise happens to be my favourite ride at Magic Kingdom. Obviously I can't really remember actually riding it, but listening to the sort of cue loop music and that sort of thing, I think it's so fun. The actual track of Jungle Cruise kind of, it does weave its way through like a jungle, but there's no autosave. There's no set pieces or story or anything. It's just the layout, and even the layout's probably not that right. Well, that's sort of serving. I'll just have a bit of tea. Yeah, but I got the Jungle Cruise sort of station entrance building area as sort of as good as I could get. But again, if I was to put all of the scenery, set pieces and whatnot for the actual ride, it would not work. It's laggy, you know, what can I say? I really hope that they make a second Planet Coaster at some point, because I got Planet Zoo recently in the autumn Steam sale, and I'd not got it before because I'm not really into zoos and animals really, but I got it recently and I love the way it looks. It looks so nice, with the day and night cycle looks really nice, and the weather features look fantastic, like the rain and the snow. Looks so good. And just the general sort of feel of it seems a bit more refined than Planet Coaster. So I really hope that in the future Frontier make a second Planet Coaster that's still largely similar to the original Planet Coaster, but with some of the improvements that were made in Planet Zoo, and also some fresh improvements and some new ride types, that sort of thing. And what's great about Planet Coaster is that there is such a massive amount of people in the community that will make bits and pieces, especially with the theme makers toolkit. You get so many things, and hopefully this second Planet Coaster would have a lot of those things as default. One of the things I'd really like is more sort of dark ride kind of things. I'm not super into the roller coaster side of it. As you can probably tell, that's why I made Magic Kingdom, because there's only a handful of roller coasters, and the ones that are there, and they're not like thrill seeker ones, they're like for little kiddies, you know. So yeah, the things I like is building the buildings and the scenery and that sort of thing. And I'm currently working on a sort of little project of an original park that I'm making myself. I find it really hard to like come up with my own ideas for theme parks, which is why I kind of just did a copy of Magic Kingdom initially, because my imagination isn't really there most of the time. But I'm trying to make an original sort of park now, and I've done the sort of entrance area and that sort of thing at the minute, and I'm just doing the first dark ride, which will be like fully sceneried out. Oh come on, this damn autosave is taking so long. Hopefully I can finish the video, the rest of the tour, between this autosave finishing and the next one starting, because this is just painful. I'm sure there's a way you can turn off the autosave, but yeah, I don't know how. If you know, let me know, because that would be super useful. Because basically, as soon as that happens, you've just got to have a cup of tea or something and chill out for 5 minutes while it does it. Right, come on. This is frustrating, isn't it? Very frustrating. I do apologise. Oh, my cat's come to see me now. Hopefully she doesn't walk in front of the computer. Ah, here we go. We're back. Right, yep. Sorry for that brief interval. Here we go. So, Jungle Cruise there, yep. And this, oh, the Tiki Room, that's what it's called. The Enchanted Tiki Room, yeah. My favourite building. Took a long time to make, but I'm really happy with it. It looks great. So, let's move on quickly, because I don't want to get caught up in another autosave. Into this bit, which is like the sort of Pirates of the Caribbean-y kind of area. Again, the sort of facade for Pirates of the Caribbean is there, but the actual ride isn't, mainly because, as you can tell, I'm right at the edge of the park here. I wouldn't have space to do it anyway. Just about had space to have the railway go behind. So yeah, that's that. And then you head through here into Frontierland, the sort of backside corner of it, which I'm really happy with. I like the look of it all around here. And then Splash Mountain, yes, Splash Mountain, and most of that is not made by me either. Certainly this roof bit and the these bits, but all the terraforming I did, obviously. And again, it's not functional. It's just bits of random log flume here, because it's right up against the edge, and there's absolutely no room to actually put the real thing in. We'll head down here towards Big Thunder Mountain and the Frontierland Station, which is down there. Right on the edge. Big Thunder Mountain, that was really good fun to make. I loved making that. And that is kind of underground. Like, the entrance is underneath all here. And the whole coaster is there. And the layout I tried to get as correct as possible, using various like track plans and layouts and that sort of thing. And the outside scenery is there, but there's not very much interior scenery, that sort of thing. But yeah, I really like it. I think it looks really good. And then let's head back towards this bit here. You get some nice views over this bit of, is it Tom Sawyer Island over there? And there's little boats going over to it. And then this is like what I kind of think of as Frontierland proper, along the waterfront here. God, it's so laggy. I'm so sorry how laggy it is. My computer's fairly decent, but it struggles so much. And then Liberty Square, just over here. Which, I mean, I keep saying, oh, this is my favourite bit. I like this bit. It's my favourite bit. But it's all my favourite bit, you know. It's took me the best part of a year, all in all, to make most of this. And yeah, I really like it. Liberty Square was actually the first bit that I did. So when I first started making it, I laid out where Main Street would be, like the paths and the sort of main plaza bit in the middle. And then the first actual themed land that I did was Liberty Square, was this building here. I don't know, I can't remember what it's called. Sleepy Hollow? Yeah. Sleepy Hollow was the first one that I made, and then did the rest of it from there. So let's go around this bit, and of course around here is Haunted Mansion. Again, there's no actual ride in there, it's just the facade and the sort of entrancey bit. Really like how that looks. Like, I think that looks pretty decent. Looks just how it should look. Pleased with that. And then over here towards Fantasyland, and this was another one that was really good fun to make, because as you kind of notice, like a lot of the buildings all back onto each other. So Liberty Square always is part of the same kind of building as these ones over here on Fantasyland, and over in Adventureland there's like a big long strip of it that's all, you know, on one side is Frontierland, on the other is Adventureland, and it's quite challenging trying to get it to all line up like that, but I liked it and it's turned out alright, really. moving into this sort of Fantasyland bit proper. I think most of this I didn't make the carousel. Maybe I did. I can't remember. It was such a long time ago that I actually done all this. It's hard to remember, but I don't think I did the carousel skin, or at least most of it anyway, wasn't me. But yeah, there's all this little bit here, and then you kind of head round up here, and we'll have a look at the mine train in a moment. But B, I guess, restaurant over here, really like the sort of scaling and views of that, because obviously there's like a miniature castle on the mountain to make it look like it's far away, and it was quite hard trying to get that, translate that into Planet Coaster, but I think it worked quite well really. And there is a restaurant in there, and a lot of this building here is just empty space, so if anybody does want to make the actual interiors of restaurants or rides or whatever, this park is all up on the workshop, so I'll put a link to it in the description, so you know, if you want to have a look around yourself, then feel free to. The mine train was really hard to do because it's sort of sunken down and all the terraforming, and there's about 1 million rock pieces and trees and bushes and Lord knows what else. But I think it looks really good. And again, it's surrounded on all sides by other buildings and other areas, so it's quite difficult to get it all the right size. This little Gaston's thingy over here, quite nice. And the Little Mermaid, yeah, and there's no ride in there, but it's just a facade, but it looks really good, I think. Quite enjoyed making that bit. And then Storybook Circus, yeah, that's what it's called. A Dumbo ride there, which is really nice, like that one. This was the last bit that I finished, and as you can tell, there's not much in here, and the sizing and scaling is a little bit off because this was the last bit, so I had to kind of close everything up around it, around things that I'd already built and couldn't move. So because the mine train has all been terraformed, to move it was a complete nightmare, so I kind of cornered myself a little bit with this area, but I think it looks okay really. And this is the Barnstormer, Goofy Barnstormer roller coaster, which, yeah, it's okay really. It's as good as I can get it. And then we'll head down around here. There's the Teacups, what's that called? I don't know what it's called. The Teacups ride there, which I really like. Moving into Tomorrowland, and Tomorrowland was kind of hard to make because there's a lot of massive buildings and they've all got a very sort of unique style, but I'm really pleased with how it turned out. Space Mountain over there, did I make that? I can't remember. I don't think I... Again, I think I kind of used somebody's Space Mountain and then modified it so that it was the right sort of size and suited how I wanted it. But I've got the People Mover that goes all around. The route that it takes is as good as I can kind of guess from aerial maps and imagery. And the sort of speedway racetrack thingy over here. Space Mountain, there's nothing in there. It's just a building shell. But it looks really good. I'm really pleased with it. And moving around here, the Astro Orbiter, there's no ride in it, sadly. Because I just couldn't get it to work really. And obviously the station for the People Mover is here in the real park, but there's no option for a circular station in the game, so you know, that's what that is. And then this is the Carousel of Progress, I think, which is in there. Well, I mean, there's nothing in there, but you know, that's where it would be. And then Tomorrowland, like proper. This seems a bit different to how I remember. Maybe I edited it wrong, but I think it looks okay. There's obviously a lot of small path details and props and things and shops and whatnot in there. There's no rides in these buildings. It's just, you know, as is. But I think it looks good. Like, my idea with this was not to recreate all the rides. It was just to get the park basically as good as I can get it. And this sort of restaurant thing over here, I can't remember what it's called. Yeah. Oh, that looks bad, doesn't it? Should do that nicer. There's nothing in there. And then here we are back to Main Street and everything else. So yeah, I hope you like it. I'll put the link to the workshop item on the description. And I've tried to do a bit of the backstage areas as well, but it wasn't really a priority because by the time I'd done everything else and I had the backstage left to do, it was laggy as anything, so I didn't want to waste my frame rates with it. But the railway goes round. You can ride the railway if you want. And yeah, I tried to do it as good as possible. But let me know what you think. Give it a download on the workshop and have a little look for yourself. I've seen quite a lot of Magic Kingdoms on Steam and videos on YouTube about them, and I think mine, I don't want to, you know, but I think mine is probably one of the most accurate ones. And I try to, like I say, keep the scaling and everything right. Are we auto-saving? No, good. Try to keep the scaling and everything as accurate as possible. And I really try to just get the real park as best as I can, rather than an impression of the park. I try to do as real as I can. But anyway, yeah, let me know what you think and have a download it. And I'll try and make a video of my new project that I'm doing of my original park. And show you what I'm doing with that and put some updates up for it. But yeah, thank you for watching.